Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pooya and Liana Lounge for episode number 24. Hope y'all are doing well. I am one half of your host, Pooya and Liana. With me is my lovely co-host.
24.
That's not your name.
Liana Boris.
That's the
me.
one.
That's me.
The doctor is in the building.
Yes. I actually went to the doctor today. Speaking of doctors.
Yeah, and would you like to share with us how the doctor went?
I mean, it was fine. Why? Because I sent you a text saying it was fun.
You said it was fun, and then you didn't elaborate, which usually to me means I'll either tell you when I get home, and then I knew we had a podcast today, so I thought maybe you're saving it for the pod. I don't know. So
you know what's so funny is I sent you that text, and then you were like, "Oh, it was fun," and then I don't even remember telling you that. Like I don't remember typing that text message. So the spirit of the doctors came over me and was like, "Yes, you had fun." No, but it's my first doctor's appointment since being here. And I will tell you, the beautiful thing about the Yale healthcare system is everything was in one building.
Yeah.
Like, you just went to one building. I never had to pay a dime to see a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It was all free.
Easy pickings.
It was so easy. You would just go to the building. You would make an appointment.
Right.
Go to the building and then just have your appointment. And it was so easy. And then your pharmacy was in the same building. I didn't have to go to a Walgreens. It was like all in one unit, which was great. So that was very interesting to now have to be like, oh, I have to go here to get my imaging done. I have to go here to get my labs done. I have to go here to pick up my prescription, which is, I think, how it is normally. Like, we were really,
it's not like,
spoiled.
go to the next room over and get it done.
Yeah. I mean, some places I did pick a place where the lab work was in the same building. So, but I did that on purpose. Like, I was looking for a medical center where I could get everything done like in one place.
Yeah.
But I do have to go. Apparently they used to have the imaging there, but they don't anymore. So now I have to go somewhere else for the imaging, and they had to make an appointment for a later day, but whatever. But
see, these are barriers to entry that someone like me would never go through. Like,
yeah.
It would lose me very quickly.
Yeah. Well, you would just give up. You would just be like,
which is
I
not
don't
good.
need it.
I'm not endorsing this behavior. I'm just saying that's how I'm built.
I'm not going to go. I'm just not going to bother.
I'd be like, oh, okay, so I'll go to the doctor's appointment. Cool. Like,
Yeah.
All right, so you need blood work. Okay, that's doable. Doc, what's up?
Yeah.
All right, doc's like, all right, so 15-minute drive from here. Okay. And you got to drop it off somewhere. Oh, okay.
Well, no. Yeah.
I get in the car. I'm like, I'll just do it tomorrow then.
Then you're just never going to do it.
Never to be seen again.
But everyone I spoke to was incredibly nice. My actual doctor reminded me of my aunt, actually.
That's good, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I really like my aunt, so that's good.
You sound like you're speaking because you're on camera.
No, it was funny because we've made these jokes that like Minnesota is my homeland, and I feel like
You're seeing.
she was like this is like my family.
Yeah, my people.
My people.
Yeah.
But the most outrageous thing that happened to me today was they measured my height, and either I have been measuring my height wrong this entire time, or I'm starting to shrink, because I am 5'9". That's what I've always said. 5'9". 5'9", 5'9", which is 69 inches, which is hilarious.
You wish.
And I absolutely love. They measured me today. I am 5 foot 8 inches, 0.9, 8.9 inch, 8.9. So I'm 5 feet, 8.9 inches.
This makes sense.
I'm devastated.
No.
Where did that 0.1 inch go? I'm going to chalk it up to
You
measurement
put on the
error.
0.1 inch for the 69 and the 5'9".
It's like,
That's what you did.
It's like the people it's like men who are 5'11" that say they're 6 foot.
Why'd you look at me suddenly?
Because I'm having a conversation with you.
I vocalized that I'm 5'11".
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but now I think
Not
you're shorter.
always.
But now I think you're shorter too, because if I'm shorter, now you're shorter.
No, see, because my documents did used to say
You're
6 foot. And then that was the running joke. And then recently, in the last like couple of years,
Yeah.
I'm like, but what if they need to identify me and they're like, this guy is not 6 foot. So I've been honest. I'm 5'11", and I'm okay with it. And I'm happy. I get three numbers instead of one number, and it's pretty nice.
First of all, you can be any height, and that doesn't invalidate you or make you lesser than.
I do not think it would.
But when you're 5'11" when you stand up straight, and that is rare.
Listen, I know I need to work on my posture. I agree.
Yeah.
But you heard it here. I'm 5'11". She just said it. I need to fix my posture. I need to fix it. I'm with you.
Yeah, because you lose like an inch or 2 inches even.
Don't 2-inch me.
2-inch me. What's it supposed to mean?
You shorted me by an inch. I was like, all right, 2?
Anyway, so I got my blood drawn, so I'm excited for that to bruise up. But it's funny because my boss also has been getting her blood drawn, so she and I both have like the little bruises in our arms. It's like, oh, and I got asked if I didn't. Okay, if I were to ask you, do you do any street drugs? What would you assume street drugs are?
Crack? I don't know. Like, I would say no.
Okay, so
I would be like, do you mean weed? And then they'd be like, yes. And then I'd be like, I take edibles every now and then.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Beyond, because my initial reaction would be no. But then if it's your doctor, you're trying to be honest, I'd be like, elaborate, speak on that, because that's what they said.
Street drugs. They asked me if I did any street drugs,
as opposed to what, like home drugs?
I don't know.
Do you do any suburban drugs? Like, what is that?
Do you do any boulevard drugs?
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
So I think they meant any recreational drug, and that does include marijuana.
Okay.
Because I got the follow-up later that marijuana is included in that list. Because when I heard street drugs, I was like, no, I don't do street drugs.
Do you do things for fun? Is that what it means? Recreational?
Yeah. Do you do any recreational drugs? I guess?
Shouldn't it be like, do you do any non-prescribed drugs? Or I guess countertop ones then count too.
Like over the counter.
I feel like
Advil.
Yeah, maybe this is just me. I feel like if you're in a professional setting, calling it street drugs is not the move.
Okay, I had the exact same reaction.
I was like, feels a little icky what you did.
If not icky, it just felt out of context.
Yeah.
Like, it also felt like we were in the 80s. I don't know why. It just felt like when Dare was a thing in maybe the 90s.
Dare's still a thing.
Is Dare still a thing? Okay, I don't know. But
so.
It just felt like that was something that they would be covered at a Dare assembly at school.
What does Dare stand for? Drugs are something?
I don't know. Something awareness? Drug awareness something?
I know it's drug something.
What does Dare stand for? Okay, drug abuse resistance education is what it stands for.
Okay.
Let's see. What does DARE stand? Okay. Yeah, I think it still exists.
I don't think it's defunct.
Yeah, but I think it would be, I would imagine.
It's on a smaller scale.
Some like college kids coming in for the DARE workshop and being like, hey kids, don't do street drugs. Let me sing a rap about it.
Right, like what you see on sitcoms.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
kind
like
of stereotypical.
They're here to like connect to the youth and they're connecting to nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My name is Liana and I'm here to say, don't do street drugs any day. It's okay to go to the park. It's okay to play ball, but
occasionally inhale, occasionally exhale, because weed is all right.
Which is funny because marijuana is legal in Connecticut or in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just confirming.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. No, it is.
Okay. Final answer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But the point is that then that should be included in the alcohol question, right? It should be like, do you drink alcohol? Yes or no? Do you use marijuana? Yes or no? Do you use insert better name for street drugs here? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like illegal? Maybe they don't want to use the word illegal.
Banned? No, because they want to include weed. They want to include weed.
No, but that's why I'm saying it should be a separate question. Alcohol, weed.
Yeah,
and then
we're here. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Ask me an extra couple questions. You know?
Yeah, like
whittle it down.
Okay, do you use any street drugs like cocaine, MDMA, whatever?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw a TikTok that it was a woman at a rave and she was older, and they asked, "Are you on anything?" And she goes, "Metamucil and Molly."
So
Isn't that awesome?
That mixtape would go hard. Metamucil and Molly.
I know.
Damn.
I know.
What she got her fiber and her rave on. That's great.
I know. Now I'm annoyed because I bought the generic Metamucil, so I can't. I guess I could still call it Metamucil.
Yeah, but you don't take Molly, so like, why does it matter? You're just upset you don't have like brand name Metamucil at home.
Well, what if I wanted to roll?
You couldn't handle it.
At the DARE party.
Yeah, oots at 2 p.m. because anything after that, you got to go to bed.
I know, I get tired.
Yeah.
Ugh, I miss rough.
it. I miss it so much.
Yeah, so doctor is in. I went to the doctor. Mm-hmm. That's my doctor update for today.
The doctor saw you, and you're good.
And I saw her.
You're good now, yeah. Also, I think the mic distance is fine from my mouth. I can't tell.
Okay.
You tell me.
I don't know. Can you...
Yours looks closer.
Get up in that mic.
But I feel like my audio looks like it clears the same amount of bar as yours does.
Yeah, okay.
And besides, we have to increase the volume anyway. I'm just very paranoid of this podcast setup always.
Why? Because we've had 2 times with audio issues?
The 2-time audio issues have scarred me.
Yeah.
But then also, I feel like when you're doing it on StreamYard or just on my computer, that setup doesn't move. We undo and redo this setup every week.
Yeah.
Which then I'm like, is this plugged in right? Is this done right? Is this set up correctly? And then
but you tested the audio before we got started.
I know. Let me be paranoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Be paranoid.
Yeah.
Be paranoid.
But yeah, so I'm happy your doctor's journey went great.
Yes, it did. It was a good journey.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It was nice to just like finally get these kinds of things done, right? Like establish care. Well, because it's the hidden costs of moving. Right? Because when you think about moving, you think about, oh, we got to pack up all our stuff. We got to find a new place to live. But you don't think about all those little things like changing. Well, maybe you think about changing your address, but like you got to find a new doctor. We have to find a new vet for the girls.
I still haven't changed my address every. I need to finish that.
You haven't?
Like I haven't with like my bank.
What?
I'm gonna do it. I forgot.
Okay. I mean, thankfully, most of our statements now are paperless. Right.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, for the future, I mean, we still have mail forwarding on.
Yeah.
For a couple more months, I think. So, anyway,
the important ones are done. Yo, Rob is on the Traitors.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's awesome. That is the coldest reaction I've seen of Rob being on the show.
Because like, that's old news.
You know, it hasn't even been like a week for most people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, look, I just want him to be happy. Like, this is going to sound, of course, I'm excited. Okay. So there's 2 perspectives. I have 2 different perspectives on this. One is from a fan perspective. Oh my God, Rob Sesternino back on TV playing the Traitors. Like, I'm so excited. Then there's the person who doesn't think about Rob from a podcasting perspective, who like knows Rob as a human and who has, chatted with him and interacted with him at like a one-on-one kind of level. And I just want it to be a good experience. Like, I'm just so nervous that it won't be a good experience. And I think part of that also is me projecting my own feelings onto him that actually has probably nothing to do with Rob. But like, if you were to go on a show or if I were to go on a show, I think about how I would want it to go, and I would be so nervous that I would have a bad experience, because we talk about shows like this, you do it for a living, essentially, right? But I don't. So I at least have the opportunity that if things go sour, I can just mentally block. Like, I can just disappear. You know what I mean? But this is Rob's livelihood.
You cannot disappear. I will not let you.
Okay, but
I'll drag you right back into it.
I will mentally disassociate from everything.
Here's the thing. Everything you're saying, I agree with. I think it being the Traitors versus like being Survivor helps.
Okay.
Because like Traitors, he does US only with me like once a year. So if he has a really bad experience, like he can disassociate if he wants to. I'm really also hoping he doesn't, because I don't want him to disassociate.
Yeah.
And also I'm like, let him get to mid-season at least.
Yeah.
If he can make to mid-season, I'm happy. Because I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
To me, it's not even about performance. It's just about him having fun. Because even if he goes out in like, let's say the first couple, like let's say he gets killed at nighttime, right?
Which that's like, I think is his personal nightmare.
Okay. Well, let's just say hypothetically he gets killed at the nighttime, like round 3 or round 4. Okay. Let's just say hypothetically. So that would be his placement. Yes. But he can still have had a good time on the show despite that placement.
When I say midpoint, that's not just for episode exposure. It's for journey also.
Right.
Because if you've made it that far, odds are you're having a good time. Or at least that's the hope.
Let's say he's in there for like, how do they film it? Does it happen like is it an elimination every night? Or do they have like off days and stuff? Do you know?
entirely certain.
Because you know how Survivor, it's like every other day,
right,
kind of thing.
I'm not entirely certain.
Okay, all right. So let's assume it's every day, right?
Sure.
They do an elimination mission, and then they go home and they vote somebody out. So let's say he survives. Let's say he's 2 days in the game, but he has a really fun 2 days. That's also for me. Like I would be happy for him because he had a good time.
Yes, but I want more than 2 days for him.
Oh, of course. Yes.
The number one prio.
Sure, I love him to win. Like that would be my number one
prio
pick,
is we want him to be happy.
Yes, regardless.
Right.
For me, it's regard. I don't care what that means.
I think the only world where I see it being very unhappy is if Rob is just straight up the first person murdered.
Killed. Yeah, like a Johnny Bananas kind of
like
situation.
in the dark, not even an exit, not even a banishment. Like that would be unhappy. Regardless of how good that half day was, that will suck.
I always feel so bad for the person who just gets murdered first.
I would say this naturally, usually. But then Dorinda's getting a second shot, so...
Right, so, okay, but then that's fine. Like, then, yeah, they can be on the table to
I remember
back.
fuming that Reza was the first one murdered.
I know, me too.
In season 1. And then I was okay with season 2. I was fine with it. And then season 3, I was like, oh no. But, yeah, we'll see.
Oh no.
I was like, oh no, because with season 3, I made the mistake of getting to learn about everybody. So I was like into everybody. And then losing Dorinda, I was like, come on, man. The amount of people that told me, you cannot wait. She's going to provide sound drop. She's going to do this, that, whatever. And then she just left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so funny. I love the idea that Rob is gone and we can all just like do whatever we want, right? That's how that works. Woo!
As someone who has been doing podcasts every day in his absence, that is absolutely not how we're doing things.
We're having a party.
No.
Dad's away.
Weeks like this remind me though of how amazing what Rob does is, because I'm on fumes.
Yeah, you're really struggling. You're struggling.
This is my third content of the day, and I have one more after this.
Yeah.
And is a lot. I mean, the thing is, it's not a lot if you're using time to calculate it.
Okay.
You know, because it's like about an hour half my first one, then about an hour half my second one. There's about an hour half third one. Then the other one's gonna be out. It's about total 6 hours. Mm-hmm. But mentally, it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah, but that's normal. Like, so for example, when I work let's just say a full 8-hour day, my brain is dry. 'Cause I've been thinking all day.
Yeah.
And so my brain is tired at the end of the day.
I also think it's different, like hosting versus guesting.
Guesting is so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to think about it. You can just let silence happen, and then you're like, that's your problem to deal with.
Hey, you.
Hey,
keep it clean.
You're hosting. Keep it moving.
Smooth, yeah.
And that's also part of the reason why the people who also talk, it's a skill, right? People who know how to handle that and who can host productively. I think it's really nice to podcast with people like that. And I was not always that person. And I don't even think I'm necessarily am that person. I still struggle sometimes on the Drag Race podcast, but it's a skill. So it's nice to be with somebody who's doing that. So then when you're in the driver's seat, then you're sort of constantly responsible for that. You don't have that person that can pick up the slack when you're just blech.
Yeah.
Was the mimicking me that entire time? Was that relevant?
It's weird. You're weird.
Why am I weird?
I tried and I was like, why is she... Like, it didn't feel natural.
Okay, but do you talk with your hands? Because I do.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, so then you just talk with your hands differently than I do.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So, see?
I'm not like saying I'm not like othering you. I'm
you
just saying...
You literally just said you're weird.
I'm saying I said it's weird.
Oh, sorry. I'm not saying you're weird. I'm saying your behavior is weird.
The movements didn't feel like they were normal on me.
Yeah. Okay, well, here, I'll do it for you. You'll talk now and I'll mimic you.
Well, now that I know you're watching, I'm going to be
See, like this. What is this? I don't do this, but you do this a lot.
What I didn't do was roast you as you were doing stuff. So
you said I was
what is this? What are you doing? What is that?
Not that.
That's what you're doing.
Whatever this is. It's like this. Oh, I got pen marks on me from my pen.
You are not a child.
I beg to
also,
disagree.
you order pens that you like. How are you making mess?
I get distracted and sometimes I put my hands on my pens.
Why are your pens open?
Because I was writing with them and then I forget to recap them. There's a lot of things going on.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well.
It's busy. It's busy.
So is there anyone else you're excited about on this Traitors cast?
Yeah, Monet. I'm excited for. I'm excited to see Monet. I mean, because, obviously Monet, big Survivor fan from Drag Race. I'm excited to see her actually engage in this kind of environment, like not just being a fan, but actually then play this kind of game. I'm also just very curious to see how the relationships are going to shake out, because from the Survivor people, or from the Survivor Big Brother people, there's not that many. There's only 4 total, because it's only Tiffany Mitchell from Big Brother, right?
5.
Who's the other one? So Jam, Natalie, Rob, Tiffany, and who's the 5th one?
Big Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? I don't have the I haven't been
two-time player.
I have not been talking. Those are the only people I remember, by the way. No, Johnny Weir is on this cast. That's the only other person I remember. Oh, and there's another figure skater, right? Tara Lipinski, yes. So I remember. But I have not been talking about this cast as much as you have. I don't remember all the people who are on it.
You don't remember one extra name?
No.
Ian. Go.
Oh. Okay. Well, anyway. All right. Well, I'm excited for Ian then. I add Ian to the list of... Well, I'm excited for all the CBS people because those are the people I'm familiar with. But I am excited to get to know the new people, or new to me, right? And I think that that's always a joy of the Traitor seasons, because they're pre-vetted people typically, right? Like they've been on other reality shows. I feel like this season, maybe more than most, has less of that. But it's always exciting to get to know the new people.
Yeah. All right.
So those are my feelings. But I mean, it's not going to air for like another 9 months or something crazy. 6 months? 7 months? 8 months?
What month are we in?
June.
Okay. When does Traitors usually...
February?
No.
January. Okay. So July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. So 7.
6. We're in mid-Jan.
Yeah. So
June.
mid-Jan.
Early Jan.
Okay, so 6.5 months.
No, it's less than 6, if anything, because we're in June. All of
June
July,
to July,
all of August, all of September, all of October, all of November, all of December.
Half of Jan.
You were right.
Yeah.
Okay, not 9, but 6.
Yeah, well, it took me a while to work backwards from there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to be honest.
It's so funny to me because I feel like it took a lot to get you to talk about the cast for 4 minutes. I've talked about the cast on 4 different podcasts already, and I'm not done talking about the cast yet.
Yeah, but also you're bringing in different guests who all have different opinions, right? So you're taking the chance to talk to all these different people who know more about the different members of the cast and all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to ask you something.
No.
What?
Nah, that's my answer.
That's your answer?
What's your question?
You said no. Is that your final answer?
Well, no, because what if it's wrong?
Okay, well, yeah, it is.
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, not counting my streams, what is the last podcast of mine that you have listened to?
Oh, I don't know.
What do you... Elaborate on that.
I don't remember. Maybe one of the 90s. When I was going to be on, so I listened to like the latest one so that I could catch up.
Last
one. Like the most recent one before I was on.
Did you mean to say latest?
Yeah.
Wow, so you've really not listened to my pod in a minute.
Okay, can I tell you what podcasts I've listened to in the last month? 0.
That's not true. I've heard you listen to podcasts.
I listened, there was that one, those like 2 episodes from the Australian comedians that dropped, and that was it.
I'm funny.
That's all I've listened. I believe that. Let's see. So, oh, I did listen. Okay, wait, never mind. News AF. Okay, so apart from News AF, yeah, May 23rd was the last time I listened to really good stuff. And then News AF, yeah, also in May, but I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay, cool.
My brain has been busy at work.
I understand completely.
And then we come home, and then you're bothering me about, you're behind on Love Island. You have to watch this. Okay. You have to watch that.
Let's not misrepresent each other, because that's not good for either of us, right?
Well, that's what it sounds like.
Okay, well, let's talk about, in a healthy relationship, we air our laundry on podcasts. So Here's the problem. I was about to say chat. You're not chat. You're a squad. Here's the thing, squad. So when Love Island is coming out, and I was like, oh, Love Island's coming out. And I was like, oh yeah, we should definitely. I'm excited. Let's watch it. I was like, yeah, we're gonna watch it. And then we played Blood on the Clock Tower a couple weeks ago, and people in the game were talking about Love Island, and that reminded Liana that Love Island's happening. And after that, she was like, we need to watch Love Island. I really want to watch Love Island. I was like, okay. And then I was like, tonight's like, no, we still have to finish. I don't know what we had to finish or what we were watching. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just tell you, it's going to be a lot of episodes. And she was like, I know, I'll catch up. And I was like, okay. And then like a week went by. She did not catch up. Now there's double the episodes. So I was like, Love Island? She's like, no. I was like, okay, but it doesn't feel like you're going to catch up anymore. She's like, no, I'm going to catch up. Because I'd be like, okay, Love Island. She's like, no, I want to start The Devil's Plan. And I was like, well, Love Island's live, and it's going to keep growing. And I say this because in our experience, Liana did not end up watching Australian Survivor this season because there were too many episodes to keep up with. So I'm going off of what I've experienced with her, and I was like, I don't think she's going to keep up. But credit to her, you have caught up now.
Yes.
It was a bit of a surprise, but like you make it sound like I bug you and pester you when it's like I know that's something you want to watch, so I'm like reminding you.
Yes, I know that, and we had this conversation where I said I appreciate your intent, but I no longer need you to remind me because I know it exists.
Did we do that on a podcast? I sincerely hope not.
I don't remember, but
because it feels now I'm getting the deja vu. Did we do this last week?
If there's something that I want to do, I will remember and eventually get there and do it. Like, if I actually care about it. So now if you want me to do it because I'm doing it for you, now that's something different. And then that would be a different situation.
Right.
Like if you were to express like, hey, can you please do this because of blah, 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 blah for me, then that's something different.
Yeah. I mean, I understand all that. But also let me roast you a little bit. Let me tease you.
How dare you?
You do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
I'm
that?
doing your hand motion.
I don't. You do that more than I do.
This or something. And not this, but it's like. Okay, well, whatever. I'm gonna take a secret. I'm gonna take a secret video of you. Okay. Well, speaking of Love Island. Oh wait. Okay. Speaking of. Wait. Did we talk about the chicken bake last week? When did we go to Costco?
Saturday.
Yes. And we had a chicken bake.
Yes.
Did we talk about that on a podcast?
I believe
it's on the 90 podcast.
It's on the very end of the 90 pod. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I meant to bring this up when we were talking about Rob, which is weird because he probably wouldn't want to be associated with this. Because I was going to say, speaking of Rob, we had a chicken bake.
Yeah, we had a chicken bake from Costco.
It is gross.
Okay.
I did not like it.
First of all, in this family, we do not say food is disgusting because food is scarce, and it is important for everyone. For living.
Yes, that's fine.
And we don't yuck anybody's culture or their yum.
If anybody enjoys it, that's fine. It's like I don't hate people who like cottage cheese. I just don't appreciate cottage cheese. And that's my own issue to deal with. That's nobody else's. And if they like cottage cheese, they can like cottage cheese. Same way with the chicken bake. Personally, not my fave.
Here's the thing. So we get to Costco, we do our shopping. And then after, we're like, slice of pizza? Slice of pizza. So we're getting a slice of pizza. Liana comes back with the chicken bake and the pizza. She was like, I wanted to try it.
Yeah, I wanted to try it. Well, because the Costco guys talk about it.
And here's the thing. I had looked at the chicken bake before on the menu to see what's in it. I could have told you Liana's not going to like this. It doesn't sound like something Liana likes at all.
Okay, the reason why I wanted to try it is because, and this is why it comes back to Rob, is because one of Rob's kids wanted the chicken bake. And I was like, okay, Rob's kids like it. Maybe we'll like it too. Which you ate it. You enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
It was good. I mean, okay, good is a stretch. It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my preferred. Like, I think for me, my first reaction was this could, like, a little bit of buffalo sauce would go hard on this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really a fan of the ranch or whatever that was in there.
It's a Caesar dressing, I think.
Yeah, like I don't mess with that really, but I mean it's chicken, bacon,
cheese,
ranch, cheese, like
bread.
The bread is like cheesy too. Like
the top looked like the that bread from Subway.
The
cheesy Italian one or whatever, garlic parmesan or something.
How have we forgotten the name of breads?
Because I haven't been to a Subway in forever.
Same. I think it's because I don't really like it.
You don't like Subway? I think it's gotten worse. When I was a kid, it was way better.
I feel like being in a couple, more often than not, you're going to the same food place to eat. Like if you're going out together, right? And I would always veto Subway. So I just assumed that I was the reason you're not eating it as much.
Yeah, but I don't go. Why? Where when would I be going to Subway on my own?
I mean, that's what I mean is, I feel like because we're together, then I assume I caused the decline in your Subway enjoyment. But it sounds like you just independently also, if you were like, oh, I need a quick bite, you're not going to Subway.
Yeah. There was also not a good Subway close to us.
Well, the Subway close to us was shut down until we were like leaving to come here.
No, I think it was still shut down, right? The one downtown?
It looked open. No, not downtown. The one by like where the Stop and Shop
the other
was.
one by the Stop and Shop. Yeah.
So I had an order. My dad, because my dad got me my first Subway. Like he brought it home. And I was like, I really like this. And then I was like, this isn't as good as I remember it being. It was the chicken one, like the chicken breast one.
Okay.
But with Thousand Island sauce, which by the way, that's where I discovered I love Thousand Island.
Okay.
Land of 10,000 lakes and 1,000 islands.
Boom.
That's me. So.
Is that just like, you make your own joke? You're like, yeah. Yeah. You sound like one of those squeezy things, like, you know, those chickens, or whatever.
I'm letting you have this one because you're gonna do this, and I'm going to pounce on it later.
No, one time I was laughing and I did the snort, and you got double snort because I did it twice.
It was rare.
Those are rare.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but
what's the meme with the Mikey's way?
Oh my God! So there's this Jersey Mike's meme going around right now.
Okay.
I guess there must have been a commercial where they're like, "I'll have it Mike's way," and the people on the internet's creative. They're like, yeah, let Mikey take the reins on this one, and it's just different variations of. Yeah, give the leash over to Mikey. And then make it sexual too.
Yeah.
It's like, let Mikey manhandle this one. It's just like.
Well, I think they could do it for Jimmy John's also, right? That's already in the name. Subway would be tough though.
Let John Jimmy this.
Let John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt on my sandwich, am I right?
I don't know what that is.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt?
Saying the name back again doesn't make me get it. I didn't get it the first time. Why would I get it now? Jimmy Jingle, Jimmy Schmish. It sounded like Simlish by the end.
So these are the kinds of moments when I am reminded that, of course, you are from a different background. So, of course, you're not going to know
what?
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
What is that?
In the same way, it's a nursery rhyme, like a children's nursery rhyme. John Jacob Jingleheimer. It's a whole thing. But it was the same thing when we were at the baseball game and the 7th inning stretch happened and you're just standing there like, why is everyone around me singing? It was the same kind of energy. Of course, if you don't grow up with it, right? Like, there's things from your childhood that I would have no idea, right? So, anyway, let Jersey Mike this. Am I right?
You'll let Mikey spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing.
But yeah, so never going to Jersey Mike's again.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've had. No, have we had it?
Wait, did we?
Which one did we go to?
Which one did we go to? I think it was a Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
I don't think it was a Jimmy John's.
I don't think I've been to a Jimmy John. I think it was a Jersey Mike because I remember the blue logo.
The blue, yeah, it's blue and red, right? Like the red lettering.
Whereas isn't Jimmy John's like a darker blue, maybe?
No, Jimmy John's I think is
2 J's.
Yeah, and it's like black and red, right?
Is it? Well, that's what I mean. It's a darker.
I'm pretty
one
sure
next
there's
to the
one
red.
next to one of my Pilates studios, and they have a sign that says "free smells."
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't like the free smells.
Why?
Because I don't.
Free smells are free. You can smell all you want for free.
I don't know when food smells good.
I like to envision someone going into the restaurant and then smelling everybody's food, like wandering around to each patron there and just be like, I heard smells were free. Or going behind the sneeze guard. I assume they have a sneeze guard. I actually don't know. And going behind and getting a good whiff of all the different food items there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there were two. Do you have anything else you want to say about sandwiches?
Why did we start talking about sandwiches?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's figure this out. Jimmy John's logo.
Yeah.
Let Mikey do
it. Started
do what
with
he wants
Subway,
to it.
so I don't know how we got to Subway.
How did we get to Subway?
Your dad bought you your first Subway.
But that came up after. The bread, chicken bake.
That's chicken bake. Okay, so.
Yeah, I don't remember what the bread was. Is it a garlic parmesan or something? I don't know. Italian something.
Yeah, I don't know. But really the mystery is how they make it.
The bread?
Yeah, well, they like bake it inside, right?
I don't think that's a mystery. You just wrap the dough around it, fam.
Should we try to make something at home like that?
Yeah, it's called a calzone, basically.
Yeah, okay, that's
or
right.
Or a hot pocket.
Basically it's
a you put all your toppings and then you fold the dough over.
Have we talked about this? The hot pocket is removing the sleeve, and now you can just microwave it straight.
What?
Yeah, they're saying that they now have advanced enough technology which I never understood why they had to microwave it in a sleeve in the first place. But
you had to microwave it in the sleeve?
You've never had a hot pocket?
I have had a hot pocket.
Yeah, the paper thing. You keep it in the paper thing and you Did you take it out?
Yeah, I was like, I thought the paper thing was like, you know how like sometimes packaging will have utensils for you to eat?
Sure.
I was like, I'm at home and I have plates. I don't need this.
Oh, you thought it was like a holder.
Yeah. I was like, you're at like a job site or whatever and you shove it in the microwave. You don't have a plate. So you put it in there and then that's your holder.
I think you were supposed to keep it in there.
I feel like low key, given what I've heard about people having uneven bites anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like it did not matter. We all had the same experience with or without the packaging.
I think part of it is though you can't put it in the middle of the microwave, right? You got to put it on the outside of the rotating tray.
I also never paid attention. I would always just put it in the middle. Everything was in the middle.
Yeah.
It felt like it was more balanced that way.
Oh, you know what I could go for? Soup. Could go for a good cup of soup. I was thinking about microwaving things, and I was thinking about how when I microwave my soup, I have to take it out and stir it every once in a while so like it gets evenly.
That alone is why I don't like soup.
Why? What's wrong with soup?
No, I don't like I don't like 2-3 step microwavables. I don't like that. I would if I'm microwaving a thing, it's got to be a one and done.
Oh my gosh, you're so high maintenance when it comes to your microwaving.
I just feel like the microwave's supposed to make things easier, right?
Yeah.
If I gotta take it out and restir it, you know what's easier then? Putting it on stovetop for 5 extra minutes.
Well, yeah.
Then it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but for me, then it becomes about the number of dishes that I'm using because typically my soup, well, they could be in the soup cubes, which could go in the stove, which then would be the same amount.
Why are you concerned about the number of dishes you are using?
Well, because if I already have it in Tupperware, I just want to heat it up in the Tupperware. I don't want to dirty a dish.
Why
like
is
a
that?
Soup plate. Laziness?
Your laziness in making a dirty dish?
Yes, because then I have to clean the dish.
Oh, you clean the dish.
Well, no, now you clean the dish. But I'm trying to be, it's a habit, right? When I had to do the dishes. But now you take care of the dishes, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all do our part. So
feel free to...
I popped my stress ball today.
I've done that.
So what was your stress ball made out of?
It was yours one I popped. Remember?
Wait, what?
Remember I popped one of yours?
The one with the little balls inside?
Yeah.
Okay, so I popped that one. But I popped it in a different way than the way you popped it.
How'd you pop it?
Like a hole got torn in the side, not where the seam is, like where it just failed on the seam. What?
What gestures are you doing on the podcast, Liana?
It's hidden. It's fine. No one can see it.
You're clearly in the frame.
Okay, the point is that a ball popped out like at me because I was squeezing it and it just went and it like smacked me in the face. And it was very overwhelming. So I got the ball and I put it back in because the hole is very tiny and it's like elastic. So now I squeeze it over the hole. So if it's going to pop out, it's going to pop out of my hand.
Just buy a new one.
No. It works just fine.
You have weird principles you stand on sometimes that I don't get.
Again, it's laziness. Also, it's expensive.
How much is it?
I don't know, like $15.
That.
It works just fine. Okay, whatever. I have two other things that I've been thinking about lately.
Go on.
The first, which I meant to prepare for, but I did not have time / forgot.
Sure.
Is if any of our listeners have been paying attention to the Karen Read trial, I am very obsessed. And I was going to walk Pooya through the trial.
I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so I'll give you the basics, but I meant to have like a whole detailed list of everything, and then because it's very complicated. So
we should have probably given like a warning ahead of time talking about this. So when you edit this, take this part. I'm going to say this. We'll do the edit. Take this part. Take it to the top of the thing.
Okay. Trigger warning. We're going to talk about some nasty stuff.
Which I didn't know about before Liana dove into it. But now
I
you do.
didn't think about it because I've just been obsessed with it and I haven't been thinking about it.
But so that's your heads up. Liana's teaching me about this trial. And the trial, she's involving all the details, which are a lot more than you may imagine.
Okay.
So if that's not your thing, skip ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thumbs up. So essentially, this happened in Massachusetts. Okay. And there were, let me see if I can at least just find the overall like basic dates and stuff. Okay. So there's a woman named Karen Read who's currently on trial, and this is her. Do you care about any of this?
I don't know. I have no idea what this is.
Well, let's do it. Let's do an overview, and then we'll see if you care. So there was a woman named Karen Read. She's on trial. This is her second trial because her first trial ended in a hung jury. Not in that way. You know, like a hung jury. Okay, anyway, that's not the point. So the point is that she's in her second trial now, and she is accused of killing her boyfriend.
Damn.
Yeah. Specifically running him over or hitting him with her car and then leaving him to die.
Okay.
Whether or not it was on purpose or an accident, that's what the prosecution is claiming.
Okay.
But the case is very complicated. So this happened in 2022. I think her first trial was in 2024, so 2 years later.
Damn.
And it has been this ongoing investigation because it is definitely nowhere near to being cut and dry. It's a very complicated trial. And it has to do with her very first trial. The prosecution was saying she hit the guy with her car, done deal. The defense tried to do this third-party argument that not only was the evidence not there to support her hitting her boyfriend with the car, but instead, all the evidence suggests that this was actually a murder that was done by the other people that were at like the party that they were at. And so there was called like the third party like theory where they think it's a big conspiracy cover up from the Canton police. So like the police are actually covering up what actually happened to John O'Keefe, who is was Karen Read's boyfriend. So a lot of it comes from, so they were all out partying. Okay. So there's a lot of alcohol involved, but essentially what happened was there was going to be an after party at these other people's house. Okay. And Karen and John drive there. John gets out of the car. Then it's like a mystery what actually happens. So John gets out of the car to go into the party. The people at the party are claiming he was never at the party. Karen doesn't hear from him, backs up her car and drives home, and then leaves him angry voicemails all night about like, because he like cheated on her, I guess. And so they were fighting. They didn't have the best relationship, which is what the prosecution is saying is motive for her hitting him with the car. But the key part here, and I take this as a scientist, is the evaluation of John's body. So the prosecution claims there's like injuries all up and down his arm that were caused by him being hit by the car. Okay. But according to a number of biomechanics experts, there is absolutely no way he could have been hit by a car. They're like the injuries that he has are not indicative at all of him being hit by a car.
What was he hit by?
So the injuries on his arm, they suspect are dog bites.
What?
And the people whose house the party was at have a dog. And those people rehomed that dog not long after this whole incident occurred. They got rid of the dog. They also completely redid their basement. Okay? Now, we don't know what that means.
That is sketchy.
We don't know what that means.
Well, no, it could be a coincidence. But, okay, now, here comes the ignorant questions.
That's okay. Ask all the questions. I have prepared as much as I can.
Oh, you're way too into this. Now I don't want to ask questions.
I'm super into it.
You can die by a dog bite?
Okay, so he had those injuries on his arm, but he also had like massive head swelling and also bruises around his eyes. So one of the experts thinks he was hit in the back of the head. Okay, what were we talking? Okay, so anyway, so the the evidence that the defense is saying is that essentially so I think that wait. So
Who brought up, why'd the car get involved in all this?
So that was what the original police officers had when they arrested Karen Reed. That's what they were saying happened. So for example, on January 29th.
I feel like I'm about to ask a lot of questions. We're going to end up eating up the rest of the podcast talking about this. So
okay, I'll save my other topic for next week. I think it will still be relevant.
Okay.
So she was arrested. Okay, so the incident happened January 29th, 2022. Okay. And the circumstances of his death are obviously disputed. The prosecutors think Reed struck him with an SUV. The defense is claiming a cover-up. On February 1st, Karen Reed is arrested and charged with manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of a deadly crash. Okay. So that was what happened. Now, the evidence at that time was that everybody in the house was saying John never entered the house, that his body was found in the yard. Okay.
Of this house?
Of the house. And pieces of tail light were found in the yard.
Did the tail light match her car?
Okay. So here's where it gets a little wonky. Okay. So Karen Reed's tail light was broken.
Okay.
However, there is footage of her backing into another car at her own house. Or technically it was John's house.
Not there.
Not at where the party
wouldn't
happened.
Have been right.
Additionally, the pieces of broken taillight were not found the morning of when she. So, okay, wait.
Where were they found then?
Okay, so they had the party that night, right? And she goes home. Then John never comes home. So her boyfriend never comes home. So she calls two of John's friends. The three of them then are in a car together and go searching for John.
And they find him.
Karen was like, we have to go back to Fairview, which is the place where the party happened. This is going to get complicated. So you just stop me and you ask me any questions. I feel like
you're making it a little complicated.
Okay, also. I think I'm making it complicated. So let me reset.
So because I'll ask one question and instead of being like, yes, there was debris there, or no, there wasn't, you're giving me a lot more backstory.
Okay, there was. So first of all, yes, taillights were found at the house where they're claiming the accident occurred.
But you said they weren't found the night of.
Okay, so the accident happened, if it happened at all, at like midnight-ish. Okay? John's body was not found until like 5 a.m. the next day.
Okay.
The taillight...
Did everyone else stay at this party?
So that's what's weird. And I don't remember all the timestamps for everything, but there's also some weird stuff. And this is why it's been so fascinating, because nothing is cut and dry. Yeah. Nothing is straightforward.
Damn.
So let me see. So the point is, for the pieces of evidence, the pieces of her taillight, some were found essentially like later that day at 5 p.m. after Karen Reed's car was already impounded. So Karen Reed's car was taken at like 4 o'clock. But is this a situation
where like the forensics team didn't get there to examine things till like the afternoon?
Yes. So there was a team that came later.
Okay, so then the debris is from her car. Just because no one... the officials didn't find it till then it could be from her car?
So the debris is from her car.
Sure.
Okay. The question is when it got there. Because there's video footage of her car being impounded, taken to the police station. The head investigator is shown on the corner of where her taillight is, hidden from the camera for a substantial period of time.
My God.
Additionally, when that video evidence was submitted, they had reversed the footage. So they had flipped the footage so it looks like it's the opposite taillight.
Why would... That's sketchy.
Yes, it is sketchy. And you can tell because there's a word police written and it's backwards on the camera. And when the defense flips the video, now it's actually the passenger side light, which is the one that's broken.
Let's break the fourth wall. We flip this video. I'm actually sitting over there.
It's crazy.
No.
Red Bull is backwards. So that's an additional piece of evidence. There's another Google search that was made by one woman who, not Karen Reed, was done by another woman.
From the party?
From the party, who was at the party.
Okay, so after she looked up the spoilers for Masked Singer, what did she look up after that?
So it is absolutely, there's conflicting evidence about when the search was made.
How was there conflicting evidence?
Technically, the search is listed, I believe, at like 2:47 a.m.
Okay.
The search, which is pretty infamous now, is how long to die in cold. But she misspelled how, so it's HOS. So, but the experts said that it could have been that's when she opened the tab and then did the search later. So, because there's another search again at like 6 o'clock for almost the exact same search. So it's possible that she didn't make that search until later.
What does that matter?
Because that was after John's body had been found.
Oh, she's like, oh my God, is he dead? Let me look it up.
Yes, and what she was claiming is that Karen told me to Google this. Okay. The other piece of weird evidence is there was a snowstorm, which also conflates the whole evidence situation with finding pieces of evidence. Well, so after the police came, they did a preliminary investigation of the space. Okay. And they investigated with a leaf blower. And so that's also like...
How? I'm getting comfortable here.
The local police did this kind of investigation. Then like the official people, I guess, came in later in this afternoon. And I apologies to anybody who knows more detail. I hope I'm not misrepresenting anything. So that's another issue, okay, in this whole situation. Additionally, no one in the initial investigation, nobody ever went inside the house. Like nobody treated it like a crime scene and they only investigated the yard. They never went inside the house to see if like anything was up with the house.
That's weird.
Yes, because it was a police officer who lived at the house.
You save that for the ending?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's a police officer. Again, it's like they're all in cahoots is the argument that the defense is making.
I'm glad I didn't ask some of the questions early and waited for you to explain, because I was going to be like, you were like, yeah, there's like the police is like being accused. I was like, why would they be accused? That would have given away this like reveal.
It's like, it's so complicated.
That's so nutty.
It's so nutty. It's so complicated. And so the biggest thing to me are the injuries. My guess is, again, I think the truth lands somewhere in the middle. I think there was probably an accident in the house where he got attacked by the dog, fell over backwards, hit his head.
Yep.
And then like some stuff happened. Oh, but the other really weird thing is there's a bunch of the people who were in the house claimed to butt dial a lot of other people. Like there were a lot of butt dials going on, which why does that matter?
But also that's not possible, but go on.
They're essentially the argument from the defense is that they were lying about these butt dials.
What are these butt dials? Like they had conversations that they're claiming were butt dials?
Yes.
That's foolish.
So there's one where so you might have to learn a number of other people that are involved in this. So Jen McCabe is the woman who searched How Long to Die in Cold.
Hoslong.
Yes. Yeah. She is the sister
of the house.
Yes, which belonged to, so Brian Albert is one of the other key people, and Brian Higgins.
Two Brians.
Okay. The three of them testified that they made a series of butt dials.
Okay.
So, for example, Jen McCabe made calls to John O'Keefe's phone, which she all claimed were butt dials. Also, these calls were deleted from her phone.
Come on. Okay.
And they were manually ended instead of going to voicemail, raising questions about whether or not they were actually butt dials.
Couple of things. Now, I'm going to come in as someone who is basically a person who you explained all this to. I don't know the validity of any of these things. I don't really know anything about anything. I'm just going to pass my judgment. Whatever.
Okay.
I have a phone.
Yes.
You have a phone.
Yes.
Very rarely will I like have my phone unlocked and then I'll look down and I'm like, damn, I pushed like the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Even at moments where I'm like, oh shoot, like it looks I'm about to post something, it doesn't post. So it's possible to do.
Yes, I completely agree.
Once that night. There ain't no shot more than one person had that once in a blue moon moment and the same night. And also weird hangups and manual whatever, like, and all of that, let's say, you know, miracles do happen. You know, once in a lifetime things do happen. Unexplainable things do happen. When's the last time you went through your phone log and deleted calls?
Yeah, never.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, never.
Same. I mean, and like you and I are different. You are a notifications clearer. I am not.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's really like, let me clear the call logs real quick.
Yeah.
Unless you hide in something. Or like you cheating on someone and you're hiding that, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not really clearing the logs.
Okay, so let me throw another thing at you. So Brian Albert, who I believe whose house it was.
Yes.
Okay, so he testified that he butt dialed Brian Higgins at 2:22 a.m. for 1 second in bed while awake. He suggested it could have happened while he was handling his phone. 17 seconds later, Brian Higgins calls Albert back, a call lasting 22 seconds that he also said could have been a butt dial. But who calls and then who butt dials someone and then butt dials someone back? Like, right? Like, it just feels like there's so many little pieces that are adding up that are just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So weird. Anyway, so the whole situation.
I mean, the whole thing is
very
like,
weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where the woman in question comes into all this. I'm more so focused on the house and the circumstance, and that seems weird.
Yes.
Aside, like, not neglecting, but completely overlooking right now their relationship, what their dynamics were, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But this all seems very sketchy.
Yes. It all seems very sketchy. And that's the thing is that and also, by the way, a ton of alcohol was involved. Right?
Yeah.
So that makes any witness testimony from either side
muddy at best.
Super muddy at best. So then you have to look at the physical evidence. And to me, what was most compelling was the actual, this is what I'm saying, the damage to John's body, because he also had no fractures on his arm. If you get hit by a car, you have bone and ligament damage.
Listen, I'm no detective. I do my best detective work on the cold streets of Skeld and SS Mother Goose, aka Among Us, or
Goose Duck.
But I'm trying to get into the mind of the person.
Okay.
The fact that his body is in the yard of this house, and the allegedness is that he never came into the house, we never saw him, and also must have been her, she fled the scene. You running over somebody that you know, and then you're leaving them in someone else's yard? Like, you surely know that they're going to get found.
Yeah.
Like, so is your big plan, I'm going to drive home. I'm tired anyway. I don't have time to. And I'm just going to leave a bunch of voice notes so it looks like I'm pissed at him and I'm also looking for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
that is so weird.
Yeah, like, my thing is, like, you don't just, I mean, unless she's also under the influence and then she also didn't notice, right? She's so oblivious. She should not have been driving.
Yeah.
Thud, doesn't hear thud, keeps driving.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's the argument, right? Is that
that's possible.
Music blasting, windshield wipers on, you know, like
Was
you're
it raining?
drunk, snowing.
Oh, snowing.
Yeah,
Shoot.
in the snow.
Yeah.
So that's where it like really, and there's people, I mean, there's people who are on both sides, right? Like, and I totally can understand why, because it's just so muddy. Like the case is so muddy.
You don't know about nothing. I don't know about nothing, but I will tell you, there's been moments tonight during this where I'm like, this person, no, this person. No,
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I can see why there's appeal here. Not, okay. Sounds mean.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, this is kind of gross, this whole thing, because I'm like, this is people's real lives.
Yes.
That is becoming televised.
Yes. And that's the thing too, that I feel a little bit bad about, because I'm like consuming all this, because it is essentially fiction. Like that's how it feels to me as an outside observer, but it's not. It's real. It's like it's
well, that was
really
the thing.
terrible.
Me passing judgment, and I'm like, let me tell you why these like thingy like the voice butt dolls are not real. But it's like this ain't a TV show, so it kind of is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So as of us recording, the jury is currently deliberating. Oh. So the second trial has ended. The defense rested, and the jury is deliberating.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe by the time this podcast goes out, there will be a verdict. But it has been consuming a lot of my thoughts recently, which is another reason why I haven't been able to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I've been busy thinking about this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my Karen Reed trial update.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Well, that's all I've got. And I'm tuckered out. I had a long day. I went to the doctor. Oh my God. Wait, there's a radio station. Okay. So I've been driving now more. And as a consequence, I've been listening to the radio. There is this one radio station that has, every single time I've been in the car, they played the exact same Paula Abdul song. And I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but in my head, this is the Paula Abdul radio station. That's all they play. Clam is popping her little head out. Hi, Clam. Yeah, so we got to take them to the doctor eventually, but that's in September, so they've got some time.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun time.
Can't wait. I know. Anyway, so that's all for me, folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
what's up with you?
Well, you can find us over on socials. Okay. robisawebsite.com/lounge or pooyaandliana.com. That's where you can find this feed, all the stuff there. Leave reviews, please and thank you. Find Liana on socials at Lianaism. But for me, like I said earlier, I'm talking a lot of Traitors. I've done now 1, 2, 3. I've done 4 Traitors podcasts. I've got 3 more Traitors podcasts to record. And I've got 2 more days of Promise Month now before it's done. Actually, when you check this episode out, that's the last day of Promise Month. So
it's the last day of Promise Month.
It is. It's been very fun. I've heard nothing but good things from people. They've really enjoyed it. They're like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel once Promise Month is over.
Aww. Yeah, that's gonna be a good feeling.
Is it gonna be a good feeling?
Yeah, for you.
For me,
to know that people have enjoyed it.
Oh, that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that it'll be over. But.
Yeah. I think I'm looking forward to the break this weekend. So I'm not doing any streams this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. And then next week we'll see where we're at and where we're gonna go from there.
Re-rack.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can find all of that and anything I talk about socials at Pooyaism. 90 Day Fiancé is going well. Liana and I talked about Hunting for Love this week, so that's going to be in the feed as well. And I think that's everything from us here. So we'll find out what topic Liana had for us otherwise before she took us through this trial. But can't wait for it. We'll see how that goes. Y'all take care. Have a good one.